Hey guys, Ellie Makes is back, and today I'm going to be making something that's my own recipe that I made once before, and I'm going to try to master it again. It is a chocolate peanut butter cake, and I've actually written some of it down, not all of it, but we're going to be making that today. I'm going to be showing you how to do it, so let's start. So in a small bowl, this is mixed like this little tiny cake, by the way. In a small bowl, we're going to mix together 4 tablespoons of flour and 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the cocoa powder. 1 and 2. Don't mix that yet, because now we're going to add the sugar, which is 3 tablespoons. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to put in our baking powder, which is a 1/4 teaspoon. And a pinch of salt. We're going to whisk this together with a whisk. It smells so good. It smells like chocolate. Now we're going to set this bowl aside while we start mixing up our wet ingredients. So I have another small bowl. We're going to put in 1 egg. Okay, so I added in my 1 egg, and now I'm going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to whisk this together until the egg is completely mixed. Now I'm going to add in sour cream. Sour cream in cakes make it really moist and fluffy, and it's my favorite thing to add in all the cakes that I make. And I'm just going to put in 1 dollop, which is about a tablespoon, maybe a little less. Now just whisk it in. It's not really going to get mixed in all the way. It'll just look like little clumps of sour cream in here, but it'll get more mixed in once you add it into the dry ingredients. Now we're going to get back to our dry ingredients, and we're going to make a well with our spatula, which is just creating a hole in the middle of the dry ingredients so you can pour the wet ingredients right to the middle. Pour the wet ingredients in. It look like that. And then you can go on the sides and just fold it right in to the wet ingredients. And you can mix this up until it's all combined. It's going to be really dry, and that will get fixed soon. Now it's not completely combined yet, but I'm going to add in my brown sugar now. 1 tablespoon of packed brown sugar. Now just mix that in. Now a tablespoon of hot water, and hot water actually makes it fluffy like the sour cream does. You can either wait for your water to get hot in your sink, or you just put it in the microwave for a couple seconds. I'm just going to start with a tablespoon, and if I need more, I'll put in more. This part may look a little disgusting because it looks like too much water, but just mix it until it's all combined, and then it will be perfect. I have prepared 2 greased bowls that are very small. They're that small. I grease them with butter by spreading some butter on a paper towel, some softened butter, and then I spreaded it onto the glass. Forgot to add chocolate chips, so I'm just going to pour in some chocolate chips. We're just going to pour in about a tablespoon of chocolate chips. Okay, now we're going to divide the batter evenly in between the 2 bowls. Now you can just do that on your countertop, or shake it like this, or you can use a spoon and spread it out, and so that the cake batter is even all the way around. I should have my oven preheated at 350 degrees. So my oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and these cakes are going to go in the oven for 10 to 13 minutes. It is now the next day, and last night I took out my cakes out of the oven, and I let them cool a little bit while they are still in the little bowls. And then I took them out and I put them on something, and I put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes, flipping it continuously. Once it was a little bit cooled, I wrapped it in plastic wrap and kept it in the fridge overnight. You could also just put it in the freezer for about 30 minutes and it'll be fine. So these are my cakes. Just unwrap them. These are how they look on the top. I also cut off a little bit on the top. And these are how they look on the bottom. They're a little bit sticky right now too. So we're gonna start on my homemade buttercream, which is my recipe. We're going to need a bowl about this size. And we're going to need peanut butter for the first ingredient. We're gonna need about 2 tablespoons peanut butter. I'm just gonna eye it. And then 1 to 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm just going to do about a tablespoon and a half. Now I'm going to take my cocoa powder and I'm going to put 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder in here. This is a chocolate peanut butter buttercream. Now 1.5 tablespoons of powdered sugar. Now we're not going to mix this with a spoon, but we're going to mix it with a fork. And we're just going to start mixing it regularly. And then once the dry ingredients get incorporated into the butter and the peanut butter, we're going to start, at least just a little bit, we're going to start pressing it onto the sides like that. It is going to look a little bit messy and look very messy, but just keep on doing it because this is what you have to do to get the butter completely into everything. And this is my buttercream. It does look a little bit messy, but it looks better on the cake. It actually needs a little bit more sugar, so I'm going to put a little over a tablespoon of powdered sugar in here. Better. And this is how we make the peanut butter filling. You're going to want a small bowl, some peanut butter chips, and you're going to need half and half. So I'm just going to pour the rest of my peanut butter chips in here, about a tablespoon. I'm going to pour a teaspoon to start with of half and half. And we're going to stick this in the microwave for 10 seconds. I'm going to use my mini little whisk to mix this up, and then I'll stick it back in the microwave for another 8 seconds. So we got the peanut butter filling done. I'm just going to set this aside with my buttercream and my cake. We're going to start on the next part. So we're going to need a small pan and some chocolate chips. We're going to put 1.5 tablespoons of chocolate chips in here. Now we're going to do a teaspoon of half and half. We're going to put this on medium heat just for a tiny bit, and then we'll come back to it in just a second and put it on low. Now we're going to put it on low, and we're just going to mix this until it's very smooth and chocolate. Now we're going to put a half a teaspoon of half and half into this chocolate. And then the rest. I actually did a full teaspoon, not a half a teaspoon. Now it's time to assemble this cake. Taking a knife, and we're going to cut a small circle in the center of only one of the cakes. Now I'm going to just put a tiny bit of this peanut butter, just the tiniest bit, right on top of the one of the cake with no hole. Now we're going to take the cake with the hole and put that on top of the cake with no hole. And then fill the rest of the peanut butter filling inside that hole. Now if you want your cakes to be a little more even on the edges, you can go ahead and you can cut just a little bit all around. This will also help the buttercream look better. Now I'm going to take my frosting spreader, whatever this is called, and I'm going to take some buttercream and I'm going to spread it all around. And you're just gonna spread the buttercream right over top that middle piece. It doesn't have to look perfect because we're gonna add a little bit extra things soon that will cover up your mistakes. Now we're gonna take a small spoon and we're going to get some of this chocolate that I made, melted, and we're going to just take a little bit and we're going to put it on the edges of the top of the cake. Or you can just cover the whole top. I had whipped up this whipped cream last night, and I have this tall glass cup and a Ziploc bag. I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to cut just a small little slit right at the corner of the Ziploc bag. And then we're going to take that corner and we're going to put that in like this by pushing it in with your hand. And then you pull over the top of the Ziploc bag around the top of the cup like a garbage bag. Now with a large spoon, I'm just going to plop in my whipped cream into this bag. It helps to push it in a little. Now, take it out of the cup and you're going to push it all down to the corner you cut. Like this. And now you have a little piping bag. So you can just pipe a little thing right there in the middle. And I like to go around the edges like this, all around, making little dots of cream. And you can just add a little bit of chocolate chips onto the whipped cream just for a little extra chocolate touch. Now I'm going to cut myself a piece to try. I should get a little bit of that peanut butter flavor too. That was super, super good. The whipped cream is perfect and the filling is so good. I love the buttercream and the cake is perfect. Just love it. If there's anything you want me to bake, cook, or make, just leave in the comments down below and I'll consider it. Well, that's it for me. Now it's your turn.